Long before the cities were built and borders were drawn, indigenous communities lived in harmony with the land, developing deep connections to nature, knowledge, and culture. From the dawn of time, they have passed down rich traditions, languages, and wisdom that continue to shape our understanding of the world today. Their resilience in the face of adversity and their dedication to protecting the environment, human rights, and culture reminds us of the crucial role they play in our society. In recognizing their history and importance, we also acknowledge the injustices they have faced and the need for continuous effort towards reconciliation and justice. It is vital that we learn from indigenous voices and celebrate their contributions, for they have been there since the very beginning, and they remain a powerful force in shaping our future. A pleasant day to each and everyone. I am Derek Lawrence G. De Leon, and this is the continuation of Brian David's report about the indigenous people community and the struggles that they are facing even at our modern time. So this report is entitled Resilience and Resistance: The Struggles of Indigenous Peoples in Mindanao. With the time I've spent researching about the most recent issues that indigenous people community faced up until the present time, these are some of the most significant struggles that I found. First is right to self-determination. Second, deprived of right and opportunities, institutional disregard, threat to life, and cultural marginalization. So, right to self-determination. It is a struggle for the identity and meaningful governance amidst the national government's failure to achieve true social progress and development in the southern Philippines, especially to its IP citizen. While progress has been made, such as recognition of indigenous rights in various legal systems and movements toward reconciliation, the struggle for justice, equality, and recognition remains ongoing. Indigenous voices continue to advocate to their rights, heritage, and a more equitable future for all. Now, let's talk about the significant factors that affects their way of living and how does right to self-determination relates to their struggles. So these major factors involves land and resource rights, cultural preservation, political representation, and lastly is autonomy. So for land and resource rights, indigenous communities may have faced challenges in maintaining control over their traditional lands and resources, which are often threatened by outside interests like mining, logging, or agricultural expansion. Next is cultural preservation. The imposition of external cultural norms and policies can erode indigenous traditions, language, and practices, making it difficult for them to maintain their cultural identity. Next is political representation. So, for indigenous people, may be underrepresented or excluded from decision-making process that affects their communities, impacting their ability to advocate for their needs and rights effectively. Next is autonomy. Struggles arise when the indigenous group seeks greater self-governance and control over their own affairs, but face resistance from national or local governments that may prioritize central authority over national interest. Next is deprived of rights and opportunities. So, indigenous people face eviction from ancestral lands and restricted access to education, healthcare, and housing. Human rights defenders are often intimidated, attacked, or killed, sometimes with state support. So, di na bago sa atin na even during our present time, ang mga IPs ay hindi talaga nabibigyan ng pansin dahil nga ay hindi nakatuon ang atensyon ng gobyerno sa kanila. Subalit, mas nag-focus sila sa kung ano man ang problema ng mga taga-syudad o ang pagpapaunlad ng mga infrastructure, pero hindi sila, meron man, pero hindi masyadong nabibigyang tuon ang pagbibigay ng atensyon sa ating mga IP citizen. So, indigenous people face extreme poverty, high rates of landlessness, malnutrition, and internal displacement. They often have the highest rates of incarceration, illiteracy, and unemployment, with life expectancy up to 20 years lower than non-indigenous population. So, dahil nga hindi nabibigyan ng tuon ang ating mga IPs na mga kababayan, ay nagre-resulta ito sa kanila ng hindi pagkakaroon ng mga oportunidad upang magkaroon ng access sa edukasyon, sa ating mga healthcare services, at maging na rin ang pagkakaroon ng o pagkikipaghalubilo sa ating society. At dahil nga doon ay nagresulta ito ng mga ganitong pangyayari kagaya ng kahirapan, sila ay nawawalan ng tahanan, ang pagkakaroon ng malnutrition, at higit sa lahat ay hindi sila nabibigyan ng pagkakataon na makapagtrabaho at mapaunlad ang kanilang pamumuhay. So next is institutional disregard. So first is lack of representation. They are frequently underrepresented in decision-making bodies such as the government, limiting their ability to shape policies impacting their communities. Kasi sa panahon natin ngayon, hindi talaga natin may pagkakaila na meron talagang diskriminasyon sa ating mga kababayang IPs. At dahil doon, nagiging sanhi siya ng mga IPs na hindi makapagrepresenta sa kanilang mga gustong pagbabago o kanilang gustong mangyari para sa kanilang community. At dahil nga sa hindi sila nabibigyan rin ng pagkakataon na makapagkaroon ng representasyon sa ating gobyerno, ay hindi natutuunan ng pansin ang mga ganong kagustuhan. Siguro ay dahil na rin ito sa atin mismo at tayong mga citizen, dahil kulang ang ating kaalaman at awareness sa kanilang importansya sa ating society, kaya nga ay nagre-resulta siya na wala talagang representasyon ang IPs community. Next is discrimination. Institutional biases and prejudices can lead to unequal treatment and worsen social and economic disparities. So, dahil nga sa diskriminasyon ay ang ating mga kababayan ay naghihirap dahil na rin hindi sila nabibigyan ng pansin. Ang ating pagtrato sa kanila ay hindi equal kumpara sa atin na mga, sabihin na lang natin nakatira sa lungsod o kahit sa mga syudad. At dahil sa diskriminasyon na ito, ay nagsasanhi siya ng mga problema sa kanilang pamumuhay, maging na rin sa kanilang pakikipag-halubilo. Next is policy exclusion. Policies and programs may not consider their unique circumstance, leading to solutions that are ineffective or harmful to their way of life. Dahil nga kulang ang ating kaalaman at ating awareness sa kanila at sa kanilang uri ng pamumuhay, ito ay nagsasanhi ng kakulangan sa ating pagbibigay ng mga pulisiya at programa na siyang nagbibigay tuon sa kanilang mga hinanaing. At dahil na ron, ang mga solusyon na maaring ibigay ay hindi talaga siya gaanong epektibo dahil nga wala tayong alam sa kung ano man talaga ang kanilang pangangailangan at kung paano natin matutulungan na mapaunlad ang kanilang buhay. Next is threat to life. Indigenous human rights defenders are intimidated, attacked, and sometimes even killed, often with the support of the state. They are, So, dahil nga ay sila ay nagkakaroon ng mga ganitong diskriminasyon, may ilang tao pa rin ang gustong bigyan sila ng boses para may paglaban ang kanilang karapatan. Ngunit dahil nga ay hindi sila nabibigyan ng atensyon, ay ginagawa itong oportunidad ng mga ibang tao na patahimikin ang mga gustong ipaglaban ang karapatan ng ating mga IPs na kababayan. Next is cultural marginalization. So, these are the 5 of the factors that causes the cultural marginalization. First is erosion of traditions, misrepresentation, exclusion from education, restricted cultural expression, land and resource displacement. So for erosion of traditions, dominant cultures often undermine or overshadow indigenous traditions, languages, and practices, leading to their gradual loss. Kasi nga ay hindi sila nabibigyan ng tuon, mas nangingibabaw ang mga kultura ng mga dominanteng community dahil nga sila ay mas nabibigyan ng pansin sa ating society. Next is misrepresentation. Indigenous cultures are frequently misrepresented or stereotyped in media and public discourse, reinforcing harmful biases. Kaya nga, nung lecture ni Sir nung nakaraang araw, sinabi niya na meron daw mga haka-haka na ang IPs ay kumakain ng tao, o ganito ang kanilang uri ng pamumuhay, o wala silang ibang damit, kaya na sila nagsusuot ng mga bahag. Yun ay ilan sa mga example ng misrepresentation. Kaya dapat lamang na tayo ay maging curious at magkaroon ng kaalaman para naman ay hindi upang maiwasan ang ganitong uri ng problema. Next is exclusion from education. Educational systems may neglect or misrepresent indigenous history and contributions, failing to value or incorporate their cultural perspectives. So, dahil nga hindi sila nabibigyan ng atensyon, ang ating educational system ay hindi rin nabibigyan ng magandang representation kung ano man ang kanilang uri ng pamumuhay, ang kanilang kultura, ang kanilang lingwahe. Kaya dahil dito ay hindi talaga nabibigyan ng halaga kung gaano kaimportante ang kanilang kultura para sa ating bayan. Next is restricted cultural expression. Legal and social barriers may limit indigenous people's ability to practice their cultural ceremonies, rituals, or arts. Sabi rin nung nakalaang lecture namin, dahil nga sa hindi sila gaano nabibigyan ng halaga, yun ay nagsasanhi ng pagkakaroon ng kakulangan sa kanila na makapagrepresenta sa kanilang kultura sa pamamagitan ng ritual, sa pagsasayaw, o sa pagpapakita ng kanilang kanilang naibibigay sa atin. For example nito, ang indigenous people o yung mga katutubo talaga na nag-originate sa Davao ay nakakapagrepresenta lamang sa panahon ng Kadayawan Festival. Yun ay nakakalungkot sapagkat yun lamang ang oras na sila ay makakapagrepresenta at makapagbigay boses sa kung ano talaga sila at ano ang kanilang kahalagahan sa ating komunidad. Next is land and resource displacement. The exploitation or appropriation of indigenous lands disrupts cultural practices that are closely tied to their ancestral territories. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, dahil sa wala silang representation, dahil doon ay ginatake advantage ito ng ating mga ibang kababayan. Ina-exploit ang kanilang tirahan sa kung saan man sila nakatira sa pamamagitan ng mining, pagpuputol ng mga kahoy, o pagbibigay ng urbanization sa lugar na iyon. At dahil doon ay nadidisrupt ang kanilang mga gawain na siya ring importante sa kanilang ancestral territories. So, yun lamang ay ilan sa mga problema na kinakaharap ng ating mga kababayang IPs. So, as we come to the end of today's discussion, it is important to remember that indigenous peoples are not just part of our past. They are a vital part of our present and future. Their contributions, cultures, and perspective enrich society in countless ways, and it is our responsibility to ensure their voices are heard and respected. Empowering indigenous communities goes beyond acknowledging their history. It involves actively supporting their rights to land, culture, and self-determination, ensuring their inclusions in decision-making, and dismantling systems of inequality and injustice. By recognizing and valuing the unique identities and traditions of indigenous people, we create a more just and inclusive society. Let's commit to amplifying their voices, honoring their contributions, and standing alongside them in their fight for equality, empowerment, and respect. Together, we can ensure that their wisdom and strength continue to shape to a brighter future for everyone. That would be all. Thank you.